So, Mr. Hamlin, you and your family actually were full-time RVing cross country.
Yes.
So, what were some things that happened along the way, whether it be positive or negative? Everyone wants to hear negative, so let's hear a negative story. What was something that just really ticked you off about full-time RVing, whether it be towing, RV park, anything?
I would say one thing was getting to an RV park and you got the audience. They want you to mess up.
Oh, man.
They're hoping you make a big mistake or a small mistake. They're actually hoping that you and your wife have an argument in front of them.
That is so true.
So, and my wife's she's not even 4'10", 4'9" and a half. So she gets out and they're like, oh, they don't know what they're doing because we were kind of young. We looked young when we were doing it.
Yeah.
And you pull into most of these places, especially down south, the average person's pushing 70. But, okay, one example. We pull in an RV park and the actual people at the desk bring a golf cart around and say, hey, you kind of want to loop in this way, and then they leave. When they leave, this guy comes out and says, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm backing in the way the lady at the desk told me I need. No, don't do that. Those people are freaking idiots. That's the way this guy said it, right? They don't know what they're talking about. You want to go back around the whole park, which was kind of stressful, you know, going all the way around the park, kind of tight, and come in this way. Wow. And it took me about 20 minutes to get around and get that thing parked. And then as soon as I got out and he walked away, two other guys walk over to me. And they're like, you know what that a-hole just made you do? I said, I don't know, but the parking was terrible. He said, yeah, he wanted you to miss his little satellite dish he has out here. He wanted to make sure you got nowhere near his dish. So he made your parking situation so much tougher than it had to be. Man, those kind of people, you always got to look them in the eye and try to understand their motive. I didn't really study the situation. I didn't like the way I felt like he was trying to, you know, but no one was around. And he was like, don't do this or you're gonna, you know, you're not gonna ever get in here. And it was tight anyway, either way I went. Yeah. So,
no, that's good. That's actually, I bet you a lot of people can relate to that because as soon as you get to a campground, especially if it's busy, if it's really busy and a lot of people are there and it's already outside, already got their first one popped, you know,
they're waiting for the next guy to come in.
Yeah, you have an audience, and that is the most stressful part about this towing, trailering, RVing. Is sometimes when you go to campgrounds, you might have an audience, and they may not have good intentions.
And I just was respectfully say, hey, we are fairly new, but we would like to do this on our own, or we're never going to learn it. And even if we weren't new, we would just, because I didn't want the guy to try to guide me back. And some of these old guys, you know, they're not alert anymore. I would rather have my young wife back there at 4'9", telling me, you know, guiding me back, because we didn't have any of the cameras and stuff. So she just guided me back. We used the hand signals. We never had any problems.
So you're right. So if you're about to go RVing for the first time, or maybe you're in actually this might be better for seasoned people, do not help people as soon as they get there, and let them try to do it themselves unless they come and ask you. That is really good. I hate,
let them work through it.
Right, I hate when people try to come help me. I'm like, I typically will get it in on the first to second try, typically, but I'm not one to try to act like I can do it without getting out. I will always walk the ground, right?
Yes.
Walk the ground, there you go. So I know you do that.
Yep.
And just make sure you have the right space. Make sure there's not something that, you know, you just didn't account for.
Oh, another one is to make sure you understand the layout. Where's the water? Where's the power?
Oh,
so many times I pulled in, I'm 28 feet from the power line. I can probably do it, but I don't want it stretched out all the way.
Exactly. No,
I don't want to have to trip over it and someone else trip over.
I made that mistake so many times. I would go ahead and unhook, drop it, and then my slide is like not far enough from my slide.
Or your slide's going to hit the power pole.
It's
just high enough
Just
that
exactly.
your 50 amp is going to hit your slide, and you're going to have to now.
Yeah, and that happened to us one time where the ground was so unlevel, and I had to use those leveling chalks. And it took me so long to figure out how to like get it perfect because
those are tricky.
Yeah,
I used the Anderson ones, and they were a little tricky.
Yeah, and if you don't get the trailer completely level, like it doesn't have to be leveled, but it has to be within a certain parameter, because if you have auto leveling, it will not auto level if it's too, you know, tilted, so it won't lift that trailer up. So you have to get it almost within a certain range. I don't know what it is, but yeah. And then I had to undo I had to, you know, move the trailer again because I'm too close to the power, and now I have to you know, do all what I had to do.
Yeah, you're putting your ladder up.
Yeah.
You just set yourself back 40. So in my case, it'd be 45 minutes. Cause my fifth wheel was more manual, more intensive than Justin's.
Yeah.
So it was a little more of a challenge.
Yeah, and so then at that point you're going out to eat that night.
Yep. There ain't nobody taking dinner.
Oh, and one of the biggest mistakes we always made is getting to campgrounds at nighttime. The worst mistake in the world. I won't do that anymore. I will literally stay at a gas station, because we've done that 2 or 3 times where we go to a campsite and we don't know if it's ours or it's just too dark, we can't see. Especially when we were traveling, you know, full time. It was, we've had a lot of bad experiences. So I
pulled into one in Colorado. It was a state park. And get up to this site, and I think it's ours. Pull in. It was getting, actually we got in a little late that day. It was anyway, we got pulled in, got settled in, and I just had this weird feeling. It was a busy area, right? And about midnight, someone pulls up. We're about to fall asleep, and he just keeps his headlights right on my fifth wheel. I'm like, I look out my window. I kind of.
He did I
know he knows I got his spot, but his wife's in there telling him. Laura's like, Laura's like, what are we gonna do? I'm like, nothing. We're not gonna do anything. And you know, his wife saying, honey, we don't know if that maybe the park messed up. Because after 5 there was nobody there. So they sit there for 5 minutes. That guy wanted to knock on my wing door. You got my spot. And then they finally drove off. I was like, she said, what are you gonna do? I said, we're leaving at 7 a.m. We're gonna get out of this spot. Well, the one I thought might have been ours was so tight, so bad. I was like, nope, we're gonna take this one. You know, because they had they had color-coded cards, but they didn't have anybody's name on them. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, nobody's coming tonight. We're already here so late.
Like, nobody comes before 8. We're good.
Of course they're coming because it's you, right?
Yep.
So good.
So I took some risk, and that one, I felt a little guilty, but nope, it's midnight. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.